uh, need to know that that was a deception of the century. It was a deception of the century that Namibia entered into. And if the government of Namibia is sensible enough, they need to revisit that and renegotiate that. Because for a long time, Botswana has never been up to anything good with Namibia. It has never been like that. And the person that understood Botswana very well was the founding father. That's why during his era, there were no such things. Because the founding father understood Botswana very well. And he knew the type of language that Botswana would understand. So I don't know the status quo in terms of relationship between the current president and the current Botswana president. But if the government is sensible enough, they need to renegotiate that treaty. We are talking about water security here. Just like Botswana is also objecting that in I think they call it in Sidu, the one that Rosatom want to do drilling, extracting, uranium out, and they say to contaminate the water. But people like the governor of Maheke, Pionganate, are supporting are supporting that project because they believe that water is already contaminated, because uranium is where the water is. Now, what's the difference? But people of the likes of Kalesh Letvine, the former agriculture minister and finance minister respectively, are objecting that that area has the largest aquifer of water which is shared with other countries, and water will be contaminated. But the argument is that, look, water is already contaminated by the presence already of uranium. So water is already contaminated, whether you are protecting it now or later, water is already contaminated. So let's just get the thing out. But water has always been a sensitive matter between countries. If I think most of you remember the Ethiopian dam, electricity dam. Is it a hydro? I think it's a hydropower dam, something like that. Ethiopia built it by force to say, look, I don't care about what America is saying. I don't care about what Sudan and Egypt is saying. I'm building the dam. And you know what Ethiopia did? They say, guys, whosoever has $1, bring. We are raising funds to build this dam. And people brought money. And they brought money until they got the billions that they wanted, and they constructed the dam. Sudan was making noise. Egypt was also making noise. In fact, countries that are around the Nile River, because Nile River is shared river between Ethiopia, Sudan, Egypt, and all that other countries. But the three countries are the major sharers, if there's such a word, of the Nile River: Egypt, Ethiopia, and Sudan, And Egypt and Sudan were objecting to that because they also need water, and that will deprive them of water. So, to get water from the Kavango River, that is very feasible, though other people are saying it is not feasible. But that's debatable. But let's say it is feasible. How much water can we get for how long from the Kavango River? Because the Kavango River, our side is very shallow, and that shallow side we are sharing it with Botswana. And Botswana takes water seriously because Botswana has no water. You see, Namibia has never been ruled by a dictator. Or Botswana was never ruled by a war enthusiast. We could have gone to war over Chove River or over, the Kavango River with Botswana. Or let me say, South Africa was also never ruled by a dictator, because South Africa would as well just take over the entire Orange River or Orange Basin. But should there have been a war over and Botswana is locked out of the Chobe River, that is 90%, water gone for Botswana. Because Botswana only has the lake, I think it is, how do they call that lake? I forgot the name. I think the Lake Maungani, something, Lake Ngani, if I'm not mistaken. I stand to be corrected on the name. That is only source of water in Botswana. Botswana is 100% waterless without the Chobe River. And that's why she is wise enough to deceive Namibia over the border treaty. And President Gengop fell for it without even thinking twice. He fell for it. And in fact, the current president was a minister of international relations during Gengop's time. So we now don't know what is on her table. Because we have this tendency of saying, well, it is not our region. It's Kavango region or it's Zambezi. Until one day you wake up with Angola thinking differently with Kunene River. That's when you will understand how much is at stake. Because it seems that the government is living in a stratosphere. If there is a government that does not live in reality, it's a Namibian government when it comes to some of these issues. The Namibian government has, since the founding father, it seems that the founding father was the only one that was existing in this atmospheric environment that we are in. It seems that the rest of the president went up into the stratosphere, or they are living in Mars. They don't understand what is happening on Earth. On Earth, we are fighting for water as a very vital resource. And some countries are wise enough to understand that. The only calm neighbor that we can negotiate properly with when it comes to water is Zambia. So Zambia, when you look at the Zambezi region, we share the river with Zambia. And there has never been issues when it comes to that with a river. Except, Zambian fishermen that are caught here and there using wrong nets that are not allowed to be used in Namibia by Namibian fishery standards. But when it comes to friendliness, the only country that is friendly in this SADC atmosphere is Zambia. And I'm talking about it from the water point of view. But to get a pipeline from Zambezi to Central Region, that's very complex. That's going to be very expensive. But when it comes to water, Zambezi has no problem with water. Because Zambezi has up to, like the village where I come from, we are surrounded by water bodies. We have up to 7-8 streams. Not to talk about the Zambezi River itself. I'm excluding the Zambezi River. I'm talking about streams. We have 8-9 of them. And a number of lakes and swamps that hold water for a long time. Let alone just digging on the ground to get water. You dig just few meters, you have already found water. So water is not a problem in Zambezi. Water should also not be a problem in Kavango. But the reason why you have, the resistance from Kavango to get water from there and feeding the central regions, it is because that project, in as much as it is an important project, it's an insult to the people that are living in the Kavango regions. Because you are giving what you are supposed to give to them. You want to bypass them and give it to other regions when they themselves don't have water. But should there have been water, should the people in the Kavango regions have water, that was not going to be a problem. It was not going to be even an issue to say we are taking water from this to that. But you can't take bread out of the house and give it to the neighbor when the children in the house are hungry. You are provoking a mutiny. You are provoking a mutiny. One of your sons will stand up and say, you are not passing this, you are not getting out with that bread. So we are going for a short break. We'll be right back to continue. Stay tuned.
My friend, why do you seem so worried?
Ace, I'm planning an event for next weekend, and I don't know how to best get people to hear about it.
Saima, don't worry about those small things. Contact Eagle FM today. Eagle FM has a dedicated team that can travel anywhere countrywide to broadcast live at any event, such as a promotion, organizational launch, anniversary, wedding, funeral, political or traditional and church events, and basically any event that you wish to broadcast on a national level. Call them now and talk to Monica at 081 270 3727 or the office number 083 2888 400. Eagle FM, the eye.
No matter where you are, if you have a mobile device, you can tune into Namibia's #1 talk radio station by downloading the Eagle FM app on the Google Play Store or on the Apple App Store. Download the Eagle FM app to tune into live Eagle FM programming or to listen to podcasts of previous broadcasts. Eagle FM, Namibia's #1 talk radio station.
My friend, why do you seem so worried?
Ace, I'm planning an event for next weekend, and I don't know how to best get people to hear about it.
Saima, don't worry about those small things. Contact Eagle FM today. Eagle FM has a dedicated team that can travel anywhere countrywide to broadcast live at any event, such as a promotion, organizational launch, anniversary, wedding, funeral, political or traditional and church events, and basically any event that you wish to broadcast on a national level. Call them now and talk to Monica at 081 270 3727 or the office number 083 2888 400. Eagle FM, the eye.
Right, so the issue is not the feasibility of the project. The issue is the logic behind in the project. And this logic is now divided into two. The logic in the minds of the people from whom this is coming from, and the logic in the minds of the people that are carrying out, or the logic of the government. You see, you see, this is why a lot of, regions opted to be, opted to not to be part of, of certain countries. And now I'm not talking for treason. I'm just giving a historical fact. You see, Bangladesh was part of Pakistan in the 70s. And then there were laws that Pakistan was passing that were exclusive of the Bengal people. So everything was done for Urdu speaking people and all that. So people start to say, no, we are not Urdu, we are Bengals. You cannot treat us like that. And then they broke away. There was a war. And of course they succeeded India because India, supported the Bangladeshi uprising. Out of revenge, of course, because Pakistan was part of India. Pakistan also successfully broke away from India. So, in the minds of somebody in Rundu or in Kavango, in the mind of somebody in Kavango, they want to think that you want to put Grootfontein or Windhoek to be more important than Kavango itself by taking what is in Kavango to Windhoek when the people in Kavango cannot have access to it. As a government official, you are joking by doing that. So that is the logic. The issue is not the feasibility of the project. No, the project can be feasible. It can be possible. The issue is the logic. What do you mean by that? Why? What do you mean like that? By that? Now, I don't know why government wants to do. I don't know why governments like to attempt biting more than they can chew. You know, 13 months ago, there was a river here in Klein Windhoek, flowing of water. What did city of Windhoek do? Nothing. They watched that water sweeping people with their fridges, and they did nothing. In fact, Namwater was busting to say, we have enough water. We are releasing the dam. We are releasing some of the dams. We are opening up so that we ease up on the. Where is that water now? It's gone. So, and you want to be fed water from Kavango? That's a bigger. That's bigger than if city of Windhoek can construct water storages, water storage facilities, so that next time when Klein Windhoek River flows, we know what to do. That is more cheaper than getting a pipeline from Kavango to Grootfontein and Grootfontein to Windhoek. That's a cheaper exercise. You just build, water storage facilities in Windhoek. Enough to get water, enough to get rainwater, because we have flooding in Windhoek. What did we do with that flood water? It just swept away fridges. And that's it. So that's why I'm saying we are operating in silos. Everybody's just thinking on their own. We are not thinking collectively. Because if you are thinking collectively, by this time we could have had trucks, the Ministry of Works and Transport, Ministry of Defense. We could have had trucks that could have gotten flood water from Zambezi into Windhoek. All we could do, we just built the floating bridges. That was good. But we didn't have a bigger picture. We missed on a bigger picture. The bigger picture was the water, not the flood. It's not about flooding. Flooding comes every day, every year. Even next year there will be flooding. And the president went there to see for herself. And she decides, well, this is an emergency. Let's mobilize. And the mobilization was quick, fast. And people were given, people were evacuated. That was good from government. It was good. It was a proper response mechanism. But it doesn't end there. Morning.
Morning, friends. How are you?
Good.
Good. Yes, because
Uncle Bana. What happened to your voice?
Oh, it's very cold, man.
Very
cold.
Stop drinking that thing.
Me, I don't drink that thing.
Okay.
I'm innocent on these things.
Go ahead, please.
So the river, these river issues, and since they are shared, and I think you do not have a common. I don't know if there's a common law that really can assist you to share the rivers, water rivers or whatever. And that's a big problem. Even if you have an ambition or willing to get water from there, it's very difficult because somebody may have to to now demarcate some kind of borders, and then you now say yes, this is how you, or maybe the volume of water that you have to draw from there. For me, it's just very complicated. How do you do that? If you want to get water from the river, and then now Namibia want to use it, Zambia want to use it, this other country want to use it, how do you strike a balance there? Is there really something that will regulate or guide you to do that without creating some commotion? Like in
there was a time when Botswana threatened to bomb. I think there was I'm not sure what was it that Namibia wanted to do over that, and then Botswana threatened that they will bomb it.
Can you see now? To avoid those catastrophes, then how do you go about it? The guidelines and maybe some of these borders, they were created a long time ago, like the one that you were talking about during the President Hage Geingob, let's say, so rest in peace. So how could that been? How could the conflict have been avoided? How could you have avoided that conflict? So and there you have also Orange River. People are still disputing that yes, this is not the true border. This is our side. This is our side. To avoid those kind of confrontation that can lead to problems. How do you do that? So they need to share, but then how do you do that? How do you share? And like the Orange River, from all those countries there, South Africa, these things. So I don't know whether they are really good mechanism to sort out those problems. But people they need water. So how do you do that? So if you cannot go to those old borders that were demarcated, so the one for agriculture.
Just hold on.
Do you need toiletries and household cleaners? You won't get it cheaper than a U-Save up to the 7th of June. Get 250mm jars of Vaseline for only 25 Namibian dollars. Smell fresh with Playboy Roll-On Deodorant for just 18.99 Namibian dollars. Get 2 kilograms of Surf hand washing powder for just 49.99 Namibian dollars. Get 750ml Sunlight dishwashing liquid for 28.99 Namibian dollars. And get 2 boxes of Cares Maxi sanitary pads for only 12.99 Namibian dollars. U-Save, where else?
Yeah, the last point.
Yes.
The last point on the municipalities and those towns. You see, it's true that they might not have the capacity because people are coming and they are inhabiting there and all these other things. What else? What is it that is left for them now to do? Because people have to come. And those people who have occupied those informal settlements, they are the ones who are contributing to the development of the city and all this urban, even though many times in the informal settlement we don't. It's just now that we are seeing development, economic development picking up and social development picking up. But in time past, people just have to be coming from the informal settlement to come and develop in the urban areas, in this urban here, in towns and all these settlements. I mean, these locations in town. So how could they have done? Because people have come now, and you cannot say yes, they cannot get this social development or economic development. You still have to do it. If you are to budget and find some avenue where to generate money to cater for their services, for the basic services, then do so. If you are to now, if you need that money, when you need that money, and so create activity that can generate the money. So if you cannot create the activity that generates money for the service to service the thing, then what? Then what? So the planners, development planners, and all those things that are there, they want to figure out and go out of the box and say, yes, if we create this kind of activities, then we are going to generate money, and this money is going to service the land, and then people then live in that in dignified way. If you cannot do that, then people have to come. You cannot stop them. So thank you very much, Franz.
Thank you very much, Uncle
Hello?
Bana. Have a good day.
Thank you very much, Franz. Good.
Right. We continue. We continue. So the bigger picture was not about rescuing people and giving them South Korean rice. That is what the government is. That is what the government should do and must do. But like I told you yesterday, those who receive assistance from government do not have this entitlement, because you are receiving assistance from the government. The government is buying that with money that is not yours. But be as it may, the government should do that and must do that. But the bigger picture was not in bringing up a floating bridge. The bigger picture was the president was supposed to look at the water. Because this water will not bring dispute with Zambia, not bring dispute with Angola. It will not bring dispute with anyone. We take that water into trucks. Ship it to Windhoek. Why should Windhoek drink hard water when there is soft water lying around and just evaporating? You know? And even Windhoek itself was not looking at the bigger picture. You see water flooding, and you are looking at it as flood. You are not looking at water. You know, when I was a child, I was in a canoe playing, and I heard a sound. Something slipped in the canoe. And by judging by smell, I smelled that it was a big fish. So what did I do as a child? With my little wisdom, I tried to find where the head of that fish is. And I got it by head, because it fell in the canoe. I got it by head. It was a big fish. When I came from out of the canoe going, and my father saw me, he was happy that it is a big fish. But it did not end there. My father told me, never do that again, because next time you will get a snake. That was a bigger picture. Because the bigger picture is not the fish, the big fish that I got. The bigger picture is to say, this is water, and snakes are also moving. And this is a child. He will think it's a fish next time. So when we look at things, when we look at a situation, let's look at it. Let's look at it using a bigger picture. Morning.
Yes. Hey, morning, Master France.
Yes.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm alright, Master France.
Yes.
Master France, let me start first for the government operating in Sharo. Master France, the thing which I think we are failing to implement selective policies. The policy which you are guarding how to operate this and this and this is what we are failing. Because we have some policy, we have some policy which we need to be implemented as a law. I can give you an example of we have a policy of land distribution or whatever. But everybody's just talking about the willing buyer, willing seller. Instead of us coming up with a directive that yes, this thing can not only apply to communal land, it can also apply to commercial. Because now we have even a government able to come up with something, a project, but the person will tell you this is my private farm. You cannot enter. That is a problem. But when you go to the north, government can do whatever they wish to ordinary people who are staying there. And they remember, the people, majority of them who are in parliament are from the north. And the moment when the outskirts, they are out of the parliament, is where you see them starting writing articles, making a lot of noise. Like the way I'm talking to you now. That's how it is there. But now when they're having power to change some law which is really not taking us anywhere, they are all quiet because they are beneficiaries. That's the problem I see in most people. When you are saying the founding father was the one, yes, he was, until he have more power, and he was surrounded by a lot of corrupt people. When you look at the way he come up with railway to go to the north, I'm telling you, most people even they volunteer there to do that because everybody is happy that yes, the railway is reaching the Chicago. Now we'll be able to travel comfortable where I can put my squawka and myself. We reach Ondangwa. I come out, I take my squawka out, I drive. That's our wish. We thought it was be like that. Now, it's where you find that there are more trucks are even coming to compete with the Transnamib. And now, if you just imagine if you're having a law, we're saying no, there will be no more trucker traveling from Chicago to come to pick up logistics in Windhoek. They have to wait all that side of Chicago, the railway to reach, and they can start roading. Do you know how much job they are creating alone? All at Okapiti. All the truckers they have to wait there. All day at Oranjemund, they have to wait there. How many job people are going to work in Transnamib alone? That's the problem I think we have in this country. That we are all trying. You know the moment when Walomba Dagutua wafeke to go for Oshikombo to Shitara Kofuka. Mashikombo ya Kofuka. Sashi, kuno marol. Kena Okashiraga hope Yadru Watenga Nahongob. And that is what is happening. They're all talking, but there's no solution. And we've been talking for 36 years. Up to now, we are just talking. Nothing concrete in the ground you can see and touch and smell. And we are still spending a lot of money in useless things which is not taking us anywhere. When you look at our education, it's even worse. Where we support even to have a grade 4, which can build even a robot. When you are talking about like a country which are moving like Rwanda and other like Burkina Faso in Africa. What's so difficult to handle 3.something million guys in Namibia? So easily. But we have people who are put in the position, but some of them, they are just the salary corrector. a person who cannot even think out of anything. Nothing he can think of. But because he has obtained his degree with ChatGPT, online degree, he should become a minister or permanent secretary or whatever, or director. But that person, if you take out ChatGPT, he cannot think himself. And that's what we have a lot of people in the officer. In that way. Okay, let us come to the water. You know, the problem of our country is that, and I see this many times. You know, in the north, if you don't have a drought situation, we're flooding. And we never learn. And my friend, the nature is so good. The moment we have a flood, a lot of water, we let it go. And now it becomes drought. And now our cattle are dying because there's nothing to feed them. And even our people also, malnutrition taking over. Because they are not sufficient good food. But we was having a time to keep that water. That's the problem I think we have in our country. And it's been going on for more than 10 years. I'm been observing this. I'm saying, guys, if you can build Nectar Dam to the south, what's so difficult to put up a dam also to this area of the north? Especially when talking about how many origin, it's I think of origin. You can just put up a dam there. I'm telling you, that dam is able to channel a lot of, and the people are able to even plant their what? Instead of waiting for cross-finger farming.
When we talk about the 4 origins, we are talking about the regions in the north. But the origins are actually 6 in Namibia.
6, yeah.
Yeah, there is Shodenjupa in the Maheke.
Yeah, Shodenjupa, Okavango, you talk about Oshkoto, yes.
There is no Okavango. It's just Kavango.
Oh, Kavango, yeah. Okay. Now, Master Flans, if you look, the water, the flood water always flowing from Oshikango, or Osana, or Mushati, or Shkoto. That water we never done with anything. It will just go the way it is. And now, after it is funny when you see if we're having a fraud situation to this year, next year, you must know that there will be a drought. But we've been observing that, but nothing. I don't know even our institution if they are collecting those data for future use. Just like the way we are saying, when you go to the website of the ministers, it may be updated for 2024. Then you want to check what is the new future for them. I mean, like, if there's anything there, but there's nothing. That's why I'm saying, in this country, I think we have to overhaul a lot of departments. Because I'm telling you, maybe people who are working in government officer, or which you can see they are doing really their work, maybe only 5%. I'm telling you. You can challenge me for that. I'm telling you, Master France, nothing is moving. Everything. You look at the Minister of Education, it's in the mess. But they are the one who are receiving a lot of budget allocation when it comes to resource. You look at the Minister of Health, it's the same. But when you go there, they are understaffed. There is no medication. You go to the school, the chairs are broken, the roof is falling, and they wonder what is going on. Where is the money go?
Just to say we broke the chairs.
we broke the chair, but we were able to fix it because we have
you see the things that we did in the 90s when we were finishing school.
Yeah.
We didn't know that our children would come and sit on those chairs that we were breaking.
Exactly.
So now we want to blame it all on the government? Nope. We broke those chairs.
No, the thing is that when you look at the way way things are made, the system, we have to overhaul the system. The way we are operating, if you know the system is not working for you, why should we still keep following the system which is not working for us? Why you cannot change it? Because we understand the day, but there's always a loophole. If the people official or the guys like Sangala able to come up with a nice method of stealing, why our government cannot do that with a method of all people to benefit? Because we have people who can do that, but I'm telling you, they only know it when they are stealing. And that's the problem. But when it's supposed to be what? Benefiting everybody, they don't know what to do. If you look now, how many of licenses have been awarded under the president, the one in the Minister of Mines is under the president? Things, some are good things, even when people are complaining like a Nassan which has come out. It's Namibian, and this is what we are encouraging, that yes, let us do that, but not only like a circle of friends. Let us do this as somebody who come from Okangwati, somebody from Mauni.
No, look.
Somebody from...
Here's where we miss a point.
Yeah.
Inclusivity is good.
Yeah.
But let's not use it to bring people even if they don't have capacity.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think things must be done on merit. To say that person that is so-called in the circle of the president, does he have merit or capacity? Yeah. Should he get the license? Then if you are saying somebody from Okangwati or somebody from Katimi must also get a license, but does that person have capacity?
Some they do. Only that they need to be upgraded.
That's where merit need to come in.
Yeah, because remember, once you have to keep a circle of friends which are circling only, people become bored, and this is what we are talking about. That people are so much comfortable. At the end of the years, we don't need to go to hustle anymore for agriculture because things are available. Why should me go for chopping the wood when I know I can get a charcoal for $35? You see? And that is a comfortable which I'm talking about. When you make people too much comfortable with where we are going wrong, and it is what is happening to the directors and the CEO who are in the office, because they know they have become untouchable. Nobody to report to. Who did they report to? If a minister, I have to listen to them. You see, this is the problem. But a minister is supposed to hold them accountable, and they start dismissing. But we never give an example of that. But in South Africa, it's happening. That's why we see some part of South Africa, at least you can say, South Africa is progressing, even though they're having their own problem. But our problems are two ways when you look at our country, and you look at our population, and you look the way we are operating. Just imagine now we have somebody who's thinking of going to take water from Kabango. Will you even here in Windhoek alone, let me say Commerce Leading, it's covered with a lot of water. I'm telling you, when you look at the Windhoek district alone, there's a lot of bank of water under the ground. You see, if you go to Grotop, they've been fed by a bell wall only. But we have Windhoek municipality who cannot think of that. Yes, I have a big company like a Coca-Cola which are using a lot of water and Nambe Bowl. What about if I put two borehole? One is for Coca-Cola alone, one is for Nambe Bowl. Then I charge them nicely. You cannot have people thinking of that because they are so comfortable. And that is the problem I think we have in Namibia. Anyway, I'm keeping listening.
Thank you. Right. It's 21 minutes past the hour of 8 o'clock. 083-288-8401. That's a number in studio. We need to look at the bigger picture. Bigger picture, bigger picture, bigger picture. Don't look at, but bigger picture, we can only blame it on government. But do you know that individually we have not improved? Individually, we have not improved. There is no skill that we have learned in 2025, 2026. You are still boiling chicken the way you used to boil it in 1991. Even when Wi-Fi was installed in your house, you are still doing the same thing of the same way. You have not changed. You are still boiling fish in a pot full of water. Your cooking skills have not changed individually. Now, if you have people that cannot individually improve themselves, these are the same people that apply for jobs in ministries and government agencies. And they become a problem. Because you are not learning anything new. Hence, that's why when we arrive at a flooded place, we only take videos of flood water. But we don't know that this is a commodity that we need to take. That we could have, or maybe we don't have trucks that can take water from there to here. But we need to invest in that. Because that flood water should no longer go to waste. Harvesting that water will not bring problem between us and Botswana and Zambia or Angola. It will not. It will just help us. So we are not thinking. We are not using a bigger picture. We are not using a bigger picture. We are missing a point somewhere. Okay, I will hand over the mic at 8:30 to the nurse. Because of some circumstances, but we will have a full hour tomorrow, 6 to 9. So we are looking at the flood as flood water. The Zambezi River is now rising at 4.5. Compared to the same period of last year. We are giving all that statistics. But for what? To warn people of the flood. That's very important. But hydrologists were supposed to warn the government to say, guys, it's time to harvest water. We need to look at flood as a harvesting time, not as problem time. Where we have people who go back to their villages now, and during the flood, they must be in tents, and the government is spending a lot of money to give these people, feed them in tents and all that. No, resettle people forever. And then let the flood plains be filled with water, We take pipes. We harvest the water. We use that money to fuel trucks from Windhoek to Zambezi to go and get water. We need a permanent solution to the flood. To say, guys, you are going to be resettled, and those who don't want to be resettled must not call for help when there is flood. Because we are looking at a bigger picture. We are looking at harvest. We no longer want to invest money into problems. So you come up with that to say, guys, you leave your village, we are resettling you to higher grounds. In an African will say, no, this is where the graves of our ancestors are, and your ancestors, your grandmother is already dead. Move on. So your grandmother is already dead and does not participate in this economy. She's not allowed to do that. She has already departed. She's in the land of the dead. And people in that area are not allowed to participate in our area here. So we move on here. Because they are moving on wherever they are without us. So we move on this side without them. That should be the understanding, and that's the understanding that led other countries to develop. And that lack of understanding made us to stay backward. Because we still believe that somehow our dead people still have part, they are part of us. They are not. They are not. They are moving on wherever they are. So you need to move on wherever this side. So you move out of that flooded area permanently. Because we want to use that area to harvest water. And if you want to stay on, don't call for help. Because you are staying in at your own risk. So that's why I'm saying Namibia has never been ruled by a dictator. Namibia has...
limonene akulolo internet yendelela toitulirwa moshali ove tohupithana tango oshimaliwa shifike peedola dhaNamibia 2,500 okuja mefiku latete la Aguste fiemo omafiku 30 Septemba itokapula ofuta oshimaliwa shonumba okutulirwa mweyakulolo engenge owelishangifwa contracta keshe yo Pirates Fiber ile Skyfi ototulirwa mweyakulo lipelo internet hupitha fio peedola dhaNamibia 2,500 omeumbo ilo mongeshefa eyakulo olinongushu talela po pirates.africa/Namibia nde tolishangifa nena.
Always prepared. Apparatus.
Okay, so Namibia has never been ruled by a dictator. If Namibia one day gets to be ruled by a dictator who say one in Windhoek and it is one in Ochechekwa, some of these things will not be repeated. So, but until we get there, we need to start thinking, we need to start looking at the bigger picture. Don't just look at the water that is flooding the area. Look at the tap. Look at sweet water. We cannot be forced to be drinking hard water here in Windhoek when we have soft water being put west in Zambezi. So where is the one Namibia, one nationness? When Namibia, one nation must be proven, the flood must come and prove that we are one Namibia, one nation. There must be tracks. Even Trans-Namib must be used to say, okay, tracks will move up to Grootfontein. And then Trans-Namib takes water from there into the train and they bring it they bring the water in Windhoek. And we will have water throughout the year. City of Windhoek will not come and bother us not to use hose pipes to wash our cars because apparently they are running out of water. When they had Clean Vinduku river that was flowing here, they allowed it to evaporate. So we need to stop thinking in silos, and we need to start thinking as a collective people. Then we achieve greater results. All right, folks, like I said, I'm ending up here today. And I'm ending up here today. But tomorrow we'll have a full hour. I want to wish you a great day ahead. But even on your individual, let's develop. Let's look at bigger pictures. Let's stop living average lives, because this is the same mentality that we take into ministries. When we become ministers, we become CEOs and executive directors, and we just take that averageness into the office, and the government is stuck. Start from an individual, because there's no person called government. These are people that are coming from the house, so it starts from the house level before it gets into a government. So we will see each other tomorrow. Please have a good time and a good day.
omutiha gutekera kabuna imatina omjo chikao shafathana na nalo ngeshifa ya ishiwike moshiwana iye moyawo otaingongotisa mwene ana ngeshifa ya Namibia ombitombwa nawa onjika zeithane na omayakuro niranditomwa ye yongeshifa yoyo kupitiramo Eagle FM Media House ngoe 20 meha ukakombanga nena kara omukwashipareki wimopo yomo programa detu moambo dengera sema konara hetatu imwe ndatu heari hamano tano owaneari Eagle FM the eye.
Iya aina tupandure Fransa wetu pemba kwa kuja kwa venduka emba konga shinga ulirimo makana Rwanda shirongo sha mengero ngudi afuro nkunda wakalimbo no tuli pefimbo elipo programa nande yakufa moshomo ikangane pongoi aye tuita megadiva nena gaje twarangane tuyetu shirweni no monena ndiwete kucha natupopife o Valeria beshe boshirongo atupopifa o vapangeria babele tarere pangero na kupopifa o ova na skola besha batashango makona kono anatexa ashingiveloli ove kwetu shirongo unene kutukwatakanisa po ikuliana kesho show hatuli ya iya kurombore keshiwoye o programa ilimo mepo programa ya kuthamosha no shaturwa meti chonkuru no shituramo ngene na tarenyo shoto ya kushare ngene na tutongo kucha igerefema oyo radio shiwana no shiwana sho igerefema mukukara mu mahongo kutara kwa economy no kutara ke ngurunge dino misurwa karo detu unene atwendere pa mwene fimbo atopopifali wane ilonga pa mwena se wa tokerwa mota pitire mwengula chena she atu yali tuwa kwa telekomesho nene Fransa wetu pemba kwa kuja kwa venduka na mopeife nga aye rafika mati woko shirongo shamengera mukapatika toka oko ihakemba kunuma yaeke ilo twende mboto singo speeda iwala iye tuyo yo shirongo shamengera ata ikupe kucha tushingire pongapi nongenge wende mondeo ya wakuta ai kulia ina kubalansa ya nandi mpandule nena natango tulimo no mwenda wetu elio nyasha o nyangadali hatukakala moyo natango na me Olivia o me Olivia ndiote kwashivikana kwa kalamu nene mo programa odo o hatukarune netu na koma tango momo ntungwa na tate kauruma ngene ai nonena tukatareke kucha oshetifisho maso ovanyasha o taipo nene koshike tunavanyasha David dipaya kisha fiko tavi mangereke ta dipaya fana amutacho morwenjo pamwe morwa o economy kesho mwe toka rapo ikina buka kufemosha utare kucha ove ushiwe tengaipi notoshi tingaipi moto ya o ndio te kucha o na tutaraike kucha ovo ushiwe tengaipi none na tukapopya tutameke manga no nyasheri mo studio she tutare kucha o akwetuvo o industry nana ove wetengini ilingi nyano tatesele watira pembako
breakfast nanti yambira na waka
o wati neni no lia breakfast
nanti kali na
yeah
ayo utawaza posele
yeah
dirira padrof tarana dochi ocho shige economy
yeah
saturingebi
yeah uneno industry ngane no shirongo sha Namibia uneno challenge ya tale langapo banyasha yeah
ai kuse aya mekanzira kuchiti kono mandiringe economy kwame ashende tashishongora tashiana yeah unge ameshinzwe kucha amedzipata dzipata jeke unenga po economy ngengo atare nawa nandiche nandisinga ipana ndiche